What's up, everybody? Good morning, good morning. Let's see what we get today. If we look quick, right, higher time frame, obviously we're here consolidating. This order block here, kind of interesting, right? We've been kind of playing off that. Obviously we got relative equal highs here. Right, say we want to reach back into this new opening gap here. We actually have a new one as well, right? We could label quick. So two sets of new opening gaps here. Hit it. Cool. And we actually never ran this low here. Let's see. Yeah, we got equal lows there. NQ ran that low, however. Oh, yep. Good luck. See. Before it actually opened. Good call. +1. Nice. Okay. Let's set this buy side here. Obviously, we have a 15-minute fair value gap, so we'd have to get above this here first. If we're going to keep consolidating, this will hold us. But we'll see if we can't get above it with that 930 volatility. So far, we're holding that midnight. Look at that. Beautifully. Fair value gap. Yeah, we'll see if that 930 opening can't provide the volatility to get up and through this. If we don't get up and through that, we have ran equal highs here. Right, so if we want to just continue to consolidate, we would return for this low. So rather slow opening. So we close back underneath this midnight. Still a little early, so I'd rather wait and see if a fair value gap forms here. Right, kind of like we spoke about. Equal highs here ran. No bodies though closing above that level. Notice that. Right, so that's kind of what we speak about when looking for those true market structure shifts. Is for price to actually close above the high, and you'll see here, right, just wicking. So we don't even leave a fair value gap here, right? So I wouldn't really necessarily trust this as a run lower. We may just continue to consolidate, right? We have to remember we have CP or PPI tomorrow, excuse me. FOMC minutes as well. So not actual FOMC, but the minutes will still, right, give the market some type of consolidation usually prior. So because we ran this low, like if we can get above this, right now I would favor actually an expansion higher, obviously through this buy side. We'd still want to see a price close above this high. Right now, this high really in my mind, because we've cleared this high. So we do get closed above that high. I like that. Short-term low cleared. We didn't close above the fair value gap though, notice that. Right at its high. If this bearish volume imbalance can kind of get negated, that'd be favorable for that run into buy side here. So you notice how we, right, keep that volume imbalance intact and actually open with another one. So it looks like price really just wants to consolidate back and forth. Like if we're going to seek and destroy now here, right, this low, this fair value gap or this volume imbalance may be overtaken, which would be nice. That's kind of what we're looking for now. Because on the 2-minute scale, right, we're really kind of holding this here. So looking more seek and destroy us, right? Highs, lows, clearing highs, clearing lows, clearing highs. Like if we got back underneath this 2-minute, that midnight level is holding us nice, which is good, but if we expand through this fair value gap, right, I would think this low. Yeah, we're really just choppy. Like this is terrible price action, right? If the morning opening is like this, and we've already been really in this range, right? We're kind of expecting consolidation. When we have weeks where we don't really have high impact news Monday and Tuesday, that's kind of rare, right? So often those first 2 days will be a little slower. We held this low this time. So now really, right, if we're going to trust market structure, this should be an intermediate term low, right? Swing low higher here, swing low here, which would usually indicate price would want to run a high, right? Reach for some liquidity. Another bearish volume imbalance. Did we run this high? Let's see. Nope, equal highs. Yeah, no, not much to talk about here this morning, fellas. I think this is pretty self-explanatory here. This price action is just up, down. And that's why I kind of mentioned yesterday, knowing when not really to be interested in the market is just as important is looking for a trade itself. Like if you were in here trying to pull the trigger this morning, right, you're getting chopped. Absolute chopped. Or even if you're still in a trade, right, and you're not stopped, but you're just waiting here, sitting here. But that's that mental capital that we talk about. Gambling, yep, as he says. Yeah, this shit is brutal. And right, even if we could force analysis, right, it should go this way, it should go this way. But I never like to be trading in an environment where I'm having to really force, right, that analysis. It should be clear cut, obvious liquidity, right, obvious directions. Nothing in here screams obvious. In the 15, yeah, we're just here in this tiny range. Either right, yeah, and that's another reason, you know, if the indices are not, or if they're all doing different things, right, that right there is another clear-cut sign of just not in sync, low probability conditions. Holding the 15 well, but then now the, yeah, we really don't got no bias. And like usually in conditions like this, like our usual analysis tools that we could still use, like you're mentioning that 3 drives, right? Sure, we can have it. It'd have to start here, right? 1, 2, 3. Now we have equal lows, still have equal highs though. So I'm not as confident in trusting setups like this because it really could go in either direction. We keep holding that midnight level, which to me just indicates that, right? We've tried many times to go lower. I feel like price does want this buy side. It's just going to be a high resistance liquidity run up into that. Yeah, I think still favor highs. Another volume of balance. Eesh. How many has that been? That's been since 9:30. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 10. 10th volume imbalance in the last 18 minutes. Brother. Yeah, everything's ugly, huh? 2, yikes. 5, what? 15, what? If anything, I mean, this is holding like we said, right? If we're gonna stay in this range, highest premium will hold us. So holding well. Ideally, that would usually mean we reach for some type of discount lower, right? So maybe this 15-minute volume imbalance. Right now, though, that midnight level is really keeping us afloat, right? We've tried many times to kind of get underneath it. Look at all these wicks right there at that midnight. Getting smacked between PD arrays here. Right, look at the bodies just getting absolute squeezed. Goodness gracious. This shit is hideous. It's really terrible. It's comedy how terrible it is. Right, usually we don't have, or usually there is high impact news on Tuesday. So that's why when we don't have high impact news on Tuesday, price is going to tend to consolidate heavy, especially if, right, like this week we have high impact news PPI, which is pretty, not as crazy as like CPI, FOMC, but still pretty significant. And we do have CPI on Thursday, right? So we have a pretty end heavy news week, which means that we'll probably see most of the, we'll say, range take place, right, in those 2 days. Again, for a high. I still hold that. If we can get above this, right, if we can close above this fair value gap, I think next target would be here. But you see how many times, right? Just like we're trying to get below midnight, can't really do it. Can't get above this fair value gap. Okay. Might have signs of hope here. Let's see. Oof. Right inside again. We thought. I'll look here though. Let's see what this does. Maybe if we leave a little fair value gap here, who knows? Okay, I like that. Cool. So yeah, I still favor this buy side, right? I did get in a small position, not alerting it because it's not, I'm not trying to have y'all in here. Tiny risk, right? Which is why I'm fine taking it. But I think this buy side should be reached here. So we'll see what happens. Already broke even, so I'm like, if we took a partial as well. Or no, we didn't. We need to get here for 1-5 handles. But with how small of a position it is, don't really matter. Beautiful black child. The grass and roots and birds and leaves. What can you could you do? Right, we'll partial out at this high here. If we can get there. If not, stops at break even. So basically just risk free. Right, I was quick to move the stop because obviously we see what price is doing here. And at this point, we got above this, so I'd really want to see this hold. Right, at the max, this small fair value gap within it. And then the volume imbalance. So those are the three kind of discounts, right? The stop is underneath all three. All right, so this one was understanding we are in a consolidation profile. We left these equal highs. So in reality, right, we should have targeted the equal highs. I want to get 5 handles, which is why I'm waiting for a partial. But we leave these equal highs here. Right, price then runs through this low, through this fair value gap, but then immediately rejects, right? Like if we look, drag out this low. No bodies are closing below it. So it's simply a run on that stops. Right, we follow that with a huge kind of displacement candle that gets back above this volume imbalance. So for me, that's really what I was looking at. Right, this volume imbalance that was inside of the fair value gap. So when we get back above that, right, I'm using the volume imbalance to go long. Stop underneath midnight level, because at this point I'm trusting midnight to hold us. If we've already ran this low out, right, and we then get back above the midnight level, I would expect that to not be broken. So we tap it perfectly, but the stop was underneath, so we're safe. Right, we move the stop as we start, or as we keep on trading higher. And once we got above this high, we went to break even. If we can get above this high here, right, we'll partial out. But you see how much we're struggling. So as I said, even if we run here, is a very high resistance liquidity run. Because look how long it's taking, right? How many candles need to be printed before price can actually get up here? If we ever got back in here, as I said, if we get back underneath all this, I'm fine with getting that broke even. We've hit the 1 minute though. Notice that areas where they overlap, we often say, right, sensitive. So it'd be nice to see this at least run up for this high quick. Right, which I might just take partials here at this high. Yeah, we'll do that. We don't need to be greedy. Right, at this equal highs here, with how we're kind of moving, we'll go ahead and sell 1. So we only got 1 left. Right, I'm not trying to sit through all the nonsense. Stop a little bit above break even now since we got in at a better entry. Right at this volume imbalance here. And we'll just look for buy side. to be honest, we're probably gonna go stop under this, right? That's kind of all I wanted to see. So if we come back down into that, yeah, I wouldn't really want to see the volume imbalance be hit at this point. Oh, bye. Hey, look at you. See, you saved me. You saved me. Cancel, cancel. All this time and I still suck with trade evade, bro. God damn it. Wait, yeah, that's right. Okay, okay. Good looks. Matt Clutch, true MVP. Go ahead and get up there, brother. If we close above this high, let's see, did we close above it? We close right on it, right? High resistance liquidity run signature here. But still with that stop, we'll keep the stop there. Right, in reality though, this low here should be my protected low. We shouldn't need to return below that prior to this buy side being ran through. Nice. Okay. Well, even in the shit, we still are able to get our bag this morning. So, right, we can run through it again. We're just here seeking destroying. So I'm already expecting kind of consolidation. I said earlier, right, this buy side I favor. So when I see us create equal highs here and then run out this low, right, I'm already kind of looking for a rejection from this low. So I'm kind of anticipating that we won't actually break lower, but instead we're just trying to run this stop and then we're going to return for this buy side. Right, so the kind of signature, the confirmation for me was this very next candle, right, aggressively overtaking not only the 1 minute fair value gap, but also, like we mentioned, this bearish volume imbalance right here. So in one motion, right, we overtake both. We go back in at the fair value gap and the volume imbalance. And from there, it's just a matter of having to wait until we get above. And now we're taking off. So we're getting that release. Right, if we go to higher time frames, we could take a look, see where we want to target. So we have highs here we just took. See what we got on a daily. Candle as well. Also go. So we've just hit the 2, potentially 3 in between. NQ also blasting off. Okay. So we're looking pretty bullish here now. We would have looked to see if this fair value gap here. I guess I see 2. Oh, because that's a volume imbalance as well. We held that. If we are pretty bullish, I would like to see this kind of hold us here. Because we closed the 2 minute above. Let's see, hitting a wick. Oh. Hey, no problem, brisket. At least you were able to see the one right trade we were able to capture, so. Buy side gets hit. Yeah, I played well. Take care, my brother. We'll be back tomorrow. So we're going to try another long off the volume imbalance here. Tight stop here, right? Going in with half the risk of the winning trade we had, because we're not trying to give it back. But we'll see if we can't get up and through this buy side here. Right, really into that third standard deviation. Right, if I go fib. Where I was going. It's really this. We're just looking for this volume imbalance to hold us. All right, we can wick into it. We can even come into this order block really. But I wouldn't want to see candle bodies really get underneath this volume imbalance right here. Let's hit the swing high, see if we can get through it though. Oh, so ideally we would want this to remain open. So we close it, which is not too favorable. I'm thinking we may actually, let's see, if we close. Mean threshold of this order block. Yeah, so we're just tightening up the stop a little bit. We run that high. We would look for a price to close above this high. And not do right what it's doing here. Just wick through it with a candle body closing back underneath. Because then we could actually kind of aggressively snap back into this range and run for our stop here. Kind of like we're doing right now. So I would look for, we'll see how this candle closes, but we may actually trim the stop again. If we get any candles to close above this level here, we're going to move the stop to this swing low, right? That hit the order block. So that's really all I would want to see right there. We're actually going to do it right now. Right? Because if we run this high, say we want to reverse and snap back, we're not trying to take that. So we're here. Let's see, 5 handles from entry. We're going at the high here. Cool. So we actually just got out there. That was 5 handles from our entry. We'll still look for that third standard deviation, right, of this move here as a projection point. But yeah, we fully closed there. So nice. So we were looking for that level there. We just tapped it nicely. But as you see, right, we went back in. So let me clear this. We get in here originally, right after running the low, using the inversion volume imbalance, fair value gap, partial out here above buy side, right, close the 5 handles. We then go back in right at this volume imbalance, and I mean, that holds beautifully, right? Candle body's not even closing on that level, so that's real pretty. Exactly what we would want to see if price was going to continue, right, to run. We also tap that order block just once, so we wick into that, but the volume imbalance is really what was holding us, right, even here. And then ultimately we get up and through, we close here at the 5 handles. Look at the way we close right on that level though, right? So if we go to that third deviation, I mean, that's absolutely perfect there, fellas. Right, and it's not just a random level that we're taking. Right, when I'm doing this, it's the move that runs out the sell side prior to, right, the expansion. That's the leg I'm taking and looking to see, right, how far high we can go if we want to continue to run. So we hit the second one and we close above it. Right, so that's why when we close above this second one here, even though it's just barely, that to me is signaling that we want to continue to reach, right, for the higher ones. And that's why I'm trusting the setup here and not expecting price to return into any of these fair value gaps that are lower. Right, so where some may not trust this and they're thinking we're going to retrace deeper, closing above that second standard deviation to me, and then creating an order block and a new discount along with it, signifies that, right, we're going to want to run higher. So I trust that. At this point, I'll be done for the day. Don't want to push too much. 2 winning trades, right? I'm content with that. We'll see if we don't want to get into this buy side though here. Okay. Oh. Like if we were going to continue to expand from here now, right at this point, I would kind of be looking at this fair value gap. All right. It's through Tradeovate, Jake. So like Tradeovate has their own grouping. So you have to do it through the actual Tradeovate app first. Connect them, and then whenever you trade on TradingView, it'll just send whatever you had on that one account onto the other one. I think it's just called Tradeovate Groups or something. Let me see if I can find it. The only shitty part is it doesn't transfer the bracket orders I found. So like when I enter, if I enter with the brackets already set, it'll only close the brackets on the actual account. So you have to like use manual inputs to exit. Which is why I've started entering and then just putting the sell stop and like buy stop in after the fact. Because if I do it at the same time, it won't actually do it for some reason. Yeah, the accounts will stay separate. It's just whatever account you make the master will be transferred into the other ones. So they won't be like merged together. They'll show us separately. No problem, brother. Yeah, I just followed the Apex has like a instruction thing on it. But yeah, be careful with the brackets because they do not transfer. So right, consolidation, expansion, consolidation, expansion, consolidation again. We'll see if we want to get right a reversal into a discount before we expand again, or if we want to just continue to run right, leave away or leave breakaway gaps, kind of like we did here. Yeah, that's heartbreak right there. That's the worst. I'll still be doing that sometimes. I mean, even this morning you saw I put the wrong damn limit with a bot instead of selling again. Oh, brother, that hurt. I've been deathly sick the past 2 days. God, had that stomach flu. My abs be hurting from throwing up so much. So we actually holding this baby fair value gap here so far. And right, to be fair, I did just miss that there. Right, it opened with a bearish volume imbalance. This is kind of the ones that we like to see, right? So we open with a bearish volume imbalance, but we don't go one tick lower. Instead, expand straight up, leave that fair value gap. Fair value gaps like that often get held, right? And we see that there. So we wick into it, but no body closing underneath. And now we're aggressively reaching for that second buy side pull. And remember, this is on an hourly. This is an hourly swing point here. 15-minute daily as well. Do you usually just take trades as long as they work after breakout? I mean, not really. I have multiple different styles, I guess. Volume imbalance. I just trade order flow, is what I would say. So whatever PD array is going to be used at the time, right, I'll use that. Sometimes it's a fair value gap, sometimes it's a volume imbalance, sometimes it's a old high or low. Right, the high probability ones are when there's multiple kind of lining up together. But at this point, I'm not really constricted to one type of style or model. So we hit this high, we never actually ran through it. So I would like to see this fair value gap actually hold us, give us at least one more push up into this high. And then let's say, right, kind of like forecasting future events. Say that we run this high out, but we just kind of wick through it, and then we reverse back underneath this fair value gap. I'd actually look for price to start now, trying to get back into this large range here. But would like to see this high ran first. If our price is too far, yeah, that's fair, I guess. Ergon. I know I mean, yeah, I definitely had that same hesitation, I'll say. Like, right, this trade that we took here, early on, I would not be comfortable taking something like this because, right, for that exact reason, like you mentioned, I would be too worried that price would want to retrace, right, maybe return into fair value gaps here. But as I've learned how price moves, right, kind of what signatures I could find that will help me, I guess, understand when price is going to just continue to expand rather than retrace, I've gotten more comfortable entering on just those continuations. Right, so this is more of a continuation entry, not looking for price to return into deeper discounts. Where this one here is more of kind of like, right, a reversal. So after running a short-term low, we would look for price to reverse from here and then expand. This, we're already expecting price to continue to expand, and this would kind of be the same thing here. Right, same thing here as well. Until we reach that target. So we just cleared it like we spoke about, right? The fair value gap holds us, we clear it. So now we want to see if, right, this is kind of where YouTube models will form. We've hit a daily high, we've hit an hourly high. So let's say that we run this high and then break through this low. That means we'll be creating an inversion here as well. And now we could look for that to deliver us lower. That's if we can break, right? Say that we do what we're doing here. This looks more bullish than anything. So we may just continue to pump all day. I'm like the last buyer, he says. Yeah, that's all right, brother. That'll just come with time in the market, right? As you see these things play out. Right, you have to remember what you're seeing me do is just accumulation of years and years of failures, right? Of sitting in front of the charts. So while it looks like I may just know that it's going to work out, that's only because I've put in the time to kind of understand when the probabilities are in our favor. Like honestly, seeing this makes me think we may want to continue to pump. What's the 2 minute? We'll try a paper trade here. I don't want to push. Already had a nice winning day. But like if that volume imbalance gets left open, we'll try something like this. And right, this is just another one of those expansion entries or continuation. So we would expect the price to just hold this bullish order flow. Right, so this fair value gap paired with a volume imbalance, we would look to hold us. We're at old high as well. Remember, if we go to an hourly swing point here. Four standard deviation would be the next target. So let's go. Oh, wait. Oh my, look at that, fellas. Price is beautiful. All right, so notice what we just hit. If I drag out that 4 standard deviation. Oh my, perfection once again. All right, so just like we did on the third, right, we hit that perfectly. Fourth, right there. Hit that to the absolute tick. Look at that. And now we miss our entry because we used the volume imbalance instead. Right, so we were looking for deeper retracement. In a case like this, right, you could use the volume imbalance. You kind of would expect that. I just wanted to see if this old high would be re-hit. But it looks like we'll miss that one though. Right, price is just respecting all the discounts that we're forming. So we're in pretty bullish order flow here. This would be kind of balls. Let's see how many, if we go from here. 3 handles. Look like this. If there's a fair value gap that gets left open there, we'll see if we can't use that baby fair value gap. Adjust to stop. So at this point, right, we can still come into here, but wouldn't want to see the volume imbalance here be used. Adjust everything. We're just seeing if we can't continue that bullish order flow higher or not. Five handles would be partial out here, if we can get there. Oh, I'm on caps lock. Hello. Let's see if we can get to that 5 handles or not. Final target would be. Let's see. Work. Oops. So this, right, unfavorable for this entry. If we're looking for like expansion entries, right, this is why we're just papering this. Ideally, we wouldn't want to see the most recent fair value gaps be broken. So we still do have this old high here, right, which is where our stop is. So this original fair value gap, like I mentioned, this would really be as low as I would want to see price go, would be this old high if we do want to continue to run. If at this point that we've pressed higher, if we were to displace right through this, creating an inversion, I would then once again go back to looking for price, right, to return into this range, start attacking the lows left behind in here. Because on these run ups like this, right, when we're trending higher, we leave a lot of swing lows in place. So we have lows here, relative equal lows, right, relative equal lows, swing low here. That could be used as targets for that sell side of the curve if we're going to start trading lower again. Just move that. Minute. So ideally we get back above this now and not use this as an inversion level. If we do, that's when we can start running into issues, right? Stop will be in danger. So kind of like I explained wick, right? If we can displace through this fair value gap, oh geez, excuse me. If we can displace through this fair value gap, get back underneath this old high, right, that is kind of what I would be looking for to then use, right, as an inversion level and start targeting potential swing lows here. So we'll see how, right, so this note would not count because we just wick, right? We're still holding this. Let's see what a 2 minute looks like. Same on the 2 minute. All right, so this is still kind of showing some signs of wanting to find support and continue higher. But if we can aggressively get through this, right, I would start looking for like lows here, equal lows here. Right, say we want to get all the way back into this range, potentially here. Like say we want to go back to equilibrium from low to high. Right, that would align back with this volume imbalance here. Right, one kind of, I guess it's not guaranteed all the time, but one way that you can go about looking for reversals is the discounts that are used to support price, right? If those start getting broken through, you can kind of expect price to start targeting now, right, the sell side or the lower part of the range, we'll say. So, right, so like how this fair value gap got used as support, right? If we were going to break through that, we would look for that to now act as resistance. Kind of same here. We find support quickly, but notice how we break underneath that. So like if we got underneath this one as well, I definitely would be looking for now a return lower into the range. Like we could even try more of a high risk entry here, right? So like if we retap this, because we did end up using that as the inversion. So if we want to get back up into here, see what that volume imbalance does. So we're hitting this inversion again. Right, so like say we did want to go short here, right? We could actually, I could see us going short from here. More of a high risk because we haven't really displaced through a low yet, but we would just be kind of trusting that this inversion would hold us. Right, and start targeting lows. And then if we got in here, right, a way to confirm now that we're on sides is if candles like this can now get underneath the fair value gap, right? So original entry would be on the inversion like we had pointed out. Now to kind of confirm those ideas, we would hope and look for price to close underneath. So here we close on the low, but we're starting to push lower, right? If we can get underneath that, that'd be ideal. Notice this 2-minute volume imbalance right here. Right, so let's say that we entered on the inversion, right? We could then look for the 2-minute volume imbalance to hold us and be the premium that sends us back underneath the fair value gap. Gapping it, not ideal. Let's see if that was on the 2-minute as well. Yeah, so the 2-minute, right, kind of negates this whole thing here. Push back above it, actually open with a bullish now. So two opposing volume imbalances in close proximity. we would look to see if, yeah, like we're going to use that as support, back up into this. We may start consolidating here. If we start creating multiple volume imbalances in a small area like this, right, oftentimes that leads to just short-term consolidation. We are heading into, right, just later in the morning. I often speak about how 11 o'clock is kind of my, we'll say, what is it? Just the end of the kill zone I look for, right? So if I'm looking for trades, I'm not looking for anything after 11. So right, we never actually close underneath this. So that's kind of what I was looking for to set up the trigger point to start right running lower. But since we find support there, and now we're kind of showing signs that we want to get back above, right, this original fair value gap. My attention honestly does go back to this high here. Whoa. Delete that. We'll see. Hang out for a few more minutes, see what we get. See if we want to attack that by 11. To paper this one more, see. Ooh, bad entry. See if this fair value gaps hold. If not, right, I think we'll just chop here. Like, say we get back underneath this again, right, we run for the stop. This is why we're paper trading. These are more high risk. We're hitting the end of the range. We've already cleared, right? Let me go to that daily. So this level here was really our end point, right? That's where our last position was to get taken out because it's a daily swing high. So after hitting daily levels like this, price will often, we'll say, recalibrate is kind of what I think about in my mind anyways. To where if we're not going to expand quickly off of this level, right, and reach for another target, then more often than not, we just kind of play around this level, right? Maybe attack some lows, maybe attack some highs, but not necessarily leave in any given direction. And especially with the time we're getting into, right, heading into 11, we're more likely to see some type of consolidation. I still think if we can get underneath this, right, we'll start looking for a price to deliver lower. Right, getting underneath that, we'll just close that right away. Right, because if we're expecting this to hold, we don't even want to be in that no more. So we're back underneath, right? This is just showing signs of consolidation. If we're going to go up and down through PD arrays, especially a high like this, you can see how we're really just gravitating around this daily level here. So we would get by 11. He said got out in time. Bet, yeah, that's nice. Inversion, 5 handles probably. If you got in from there. Oh, if you were targeting 5, you probably could have got it. Oh yeah. See what the next 3 minutes offers us. Oh, bet, okay. No, you still take that. Profit's profit. How do I know that I can get 5 handles off? I mean, I guess I'll say an easier way I can do it is that if I'm aiming for something that's already above 5 handles, right? 5 handles should be rather easy to get. So like for me, right, this first trade here, the buy side target is higher than 5 handles. So if I'm already expecting price to reach into the buy side, then it's almost a guarantee I know I can get 5 handles, because 5 handles will be less than that. Right, kind of same here. If we're aiming for that third standard deviation, that third standard deviation was higher than 5 handles from my entry. So if that's my target, I feel comfortable knowing that I can secure the 5 handles inside of that. But so most of the times, the 5 handles is just kind of a safe exit point. I'm usually aiming for things that are higher than 5 handles and just partialing out when we get to those 5 handles. But it's 11 and we're just consolidating around this old high, right? So I think we'll just wrap up the stream for today. I'll go ahead and share the actual trades that we took one more time for those that want to see. All right, so we get along here, or I guess this is the actual. All right, so when we clear the short-term low, we're expecting seek and destroy. So right, we clear that short-term low. We then displace back above the fair value gap, back above the volume imbalance here. So we enter at the fair value gap and the volume imbalance. Right, we got to sit through this, but we're understanding this is just that high resistance liquidity run. We partial out at 5 handles above this buy side, and then we close the final position right as we ran into this buy side here. We understand price wants to continue to run, so as we form a new discount here in the form of this volume imbalance, right, we're getting long right inside of that volume imbalance, and from there we just target another 5 handles, and we get out there. So those were the actual only 2 trades that we took this morning, live trades. Right, obviously 2 winners, plays out nice. And ever since then, we're just consolidating around that old high. Yeah, we'll leave y'all with that in case you have any questions. We'll wait a minute or two, but pretty good morning. Right, so we thought we would have to sit through some consolidation, which we still did. But once we realize price wants to release, then we can hop in, right, and secure our profits for the day. I still would favor a run into this. Right, so if we do consolidate for a little bit, I would look for a run into this buy side here. Yeah, we'd look for that. Yeah, we'll leave y'all with that. We will stream again. Right, we have high impact news tomorrow morning at 8:30 Eastern, so we'll just come back at our normal time. 9:25 Eastern before the equities open. We do have FOMC minutes in the afternoon. So usually that tends to create a little bit of uncertainty, right? It's not as bad as actual FOMC because it's just the minutes, but we'll make sure to be careful tomorrow morning. But yeah, plan for tomorrow morning, 9:25 Eastern. We will meet up again. Until then, have a good day, everybody, and we will talk in the morning. See you guys.